Coming up on OU Nightly, today's round of rain moves out and our attention turns to another risk of severe weather next week. I'll have the details.
We have the latest on a high-profile case involving allegations against one former OU president. Plus, police are searching for a missing Shawnee 16-year-old. This is OU Nightly. Watching OU Nightly, I'm Bailey Coyle.
And I'm Stone Weber. We begin tonight with our cool, gloomy, rainy weather.
Let's get right over to senior meteorologist Josh Duncan. Josh, how long will this rain stick around?
Yeah, Stone, Bailey, it has been a soggy day on campus here, but now the rain is starting to shift for places near and east of I-44. So we've still got rain in progress in the Tulsa metro, especially on the east side of town. This will continue here over the next half hour or so before it starts to push off further to the southeast. And then closer to central Oklahoma, we've dried out in Norman, but we've still got some rain from Pauls Valley up through Seminole at this time and parts of eastern Pottawatomie County. We've also got OU Nightly meteorologist Christine Gormley out in the field with an update for us.
Yeah, I'm here at the intersection of Jenkins and Lindsay, and it is dry as that rain just continues to move out. And flooding was not an issue during that rain this morning and earlier today, but across the state, that was a different story for western and southwestern Oklahoma, where they had bullseyes of up to 2 inches, even more than that, in other portions of central Oklahoma. And then temperatures on the back end of this front are cooler. We're going to be in the 50s, and we're going to clear out tonight, so wear that jacket tonight.
All right, thanks for staying. Here's a look hour by hour. By 8 o'clock this evening, a temperature of 56 degrees, then it'll be around 53 by 10 o'clock this evening. And coming up, we're going to take a look at a breezy day for tomorrow before a big time warm-up is on the way for the weekend. And then, yeah, that risk of severe weather for next Monday. I'll have the details on that in a few minutes.
Thanks, Josh. For years, there's been allegations of financial and sexual misconduct surrounding former OU President David Boren. Today, we hear about a judge's ruling in a case that's been ongoing since 2021. OU Nightly's Ireland Fitzer has the latest in the newsroom.
Just got off a phone interview with Trey Savage, editor-in-chief of NonDoc, an independent news outlet that's been trying to get to the bottom of these allegations. Now, NonDoc sued the university for a violation of the Open Records Act. Savage told me what happened in yesterday's court hearing. The judge affirmed decision to review the 2 reports by himself. The university asked the judge not to do that as the documents contain personal records. Savage said himself that he appreciates the judge's decision to read the reports before making a summary judgment. What will happen next? The judge gave OU 90 days to alert witnesses and those interviewed that this is going to happen. Savage went on to say he thinks this is important to finally get to the bottom of this to protect transparency in a public institution. Now, we did reach out to OU for a statement, but all they said was this is not the practice of the university to comment on pending litigation. Reporting in the newsroom, Ireland Fitzer, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Ireland. Authorities are asking for your help in finding a missing 16-year-old girl last seen in Shawnee, Oklahoma. Hannah Contreras is described as having high-functioning autism and a history of medical concerns and was last seen around 6 p.m. yesterday wearing a red shirt and gray shorts. Now, if you have any information on her whereabouts, contact the Pottawatomie County Sheriff's Office at the number on your screen.
An all clear at Tinker Air Force Base this morning after a suspicious package placed the base on lockdown. Tinker Air Force Base posting on social media saying after working with local law enforcement, agencies deemed the threat not a security risk. Officials have yet to confirm what was in the package or what led them to call the lockdown. And police have recovered multiple firearms and at least 5 people are in custody after a shooting at a Ramadan gathering in West Philadelphia just hours ago. John Hornack has more and the rest of today's national and international headlines from the News Center.
According to law enforcement, the shooting injured multiple people. Police responded to the area near Clara Muhammad Square around 2 p.m. Authorities believe 2 groups exchanged gunfire on the street, and police say at least 1 officer fired shots at a gunman. 2 victims were rushed to a medical center with gunshot wounds, and one of them is considered to be a possible suspect. It is unclear at this time what motivated the shooting. And former President Donald Trump has commented on the Arizona Supreme Court ruling yesterday. The state is holding a 160-year-old abortion restriction. When asked if he would sign a federal abortion ban, Trump said, quote, "No. The law puts Arizona among the states with the strictest abortion laws in the country, alongside Texas, Alabama, and Oklahoma, where bans exist with very limited exceptions." And 5 of the major U.S. television networks have drafted a letter urging President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump to commit to participating in televised debates. According to a draft of the letter from CNN, NBC, CBS, ABC, and Fox News urge the presumptive nominees to, quote, "publicly commit to participating in general election debates before November's election." House conservatives again revolted against GOP leadership and defeated a FISA rule vote on the floor Wednesday. The latest blow to Speaker Mike Johnson comes after Donald Trump called on Republicans to kill the bill.
Thanks, John. Before the dog days of summer arrive, one Oklahoma-owned coffee shop got a head start this weekend. OU Nightly reporter Zoe Watson has the details.
Furry friends, treats, and adoptions kicked off the annual Dog Day Festival at Toast and Coffee Saturday morning. For the second year, former theater OU professor Sean Churchman figured out a way to get people uptown.
We were sitting around talking about what kinds of things can we do to bring someone who doesn't know that we're here, wouldn't ordinarily come here, how can we reach a new audience? And this was an idea.
And the idea was a hit. Attendees like Huyen Ako just was scrolling through Facebook.
I've never even heard of it until I saw the event that was going on. I'm a huge dog lover, so any dog events, I'm like, okay, what is this?
What's good for the humans is good for the dogs too. With free adoption and treats and coffee, it's a win-win. Especially the dog adoptions. The Oklahoma City Animal Shelter was the main event at the festival.
It's very much part of who we are and what we believe in. So yes, getting the Oklahoma City Animal Shelter here has been it's a huge part of it.
People who came with just one furry friend may have gone home with another. In Oklahoma City, Zoe Watson, OU Nightly.
And fun fact, the last dogs we saw were actually adopted to the forever homes that day. And be on the lookout early next April for the Dog Festival if you missed it this year.
A tornado hits parts of southeast Texas today with winds over 90 miles an hour.
That story coming up in Earth Report.
Plus more rain and damaging winds causing floods in parts of the Lone Star State and Louisiana.
What officials are saying about those affected after the break.
My baby's back from the West Coast.
Here are those pictures that you asked for your school project? First day of school, cute as a button.
So long ago.
Oh, here's Grandma Florence after that flood wiped out the whole neighborhood.
Sometimes I just cannot believe all the storms we've gone through here.
I can only hope that we'll be able to leave this house to you one day, baby. You're our legacy.
Planning for these disasters will make sure we're safe, and it's the best way to protect that legacy.
Those beans smell heavenly.
Give Mom a little credit.
You know what? We should make an emergency communication plan. That way we're ready this year.
Oh, great idea.
At my dorm, we have emergency kits for earthquakes and wildfires, but I'm sure there's something more local I can send you with the link.
Okay.
Smart.
I'm coming to share with you guys.
Protect your legacy. Plan for natural disasters today. Visit ready.gov/plan.
Did you know that trash, like plastic bottles and fast food wrappers, can carry germs and bacteria? When these items are tossed in the street, they eventually find their way to a river or lake and have a negative impact on aquatic life. Keep our waters clean by putting your trash in the bin. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Severe weather has been hitting many parts of the U.S. Emma McAndrews has those details in today's Earth Report.
The National Weather Service confirmed an EF1 tornado that struck Katy, Texas earlier today. The tornado passed through the area around 2 a.m. with max wind speeds of 90 miles per hour. This is due to severe thunderstorms threatening the southeast, the main threats being strong winds and torrential rains. At this time, there are no injuries reported from the tornado in Katy. These strong storms have flooded many parts of Louisiana and Texas, some under more than a foot of rain. The downpour of rain and high winds has torn through the Gulf Coast, triggering flash floods and creating multiple tornadoes. The Mississippi Emergency Management Agency says one person was killed and many others injured from the storms Tuesday and today. A serious warning from the United Nations Climate Chief Simon Steele. He says humanity only has 2 years left to save the world. Steele says it's only possible by making dramatic changes in the way the world emits heat-trapping emissions. Steele also says we still have a chance to make greenhouse gas emissions tumble with a new generation of national climate plans, but adds we need these stronger plans now. According to Copernicus, March of 2024 was the hottest March on record for our planet. This increase in heat is due to the long-term global warming affecting the planet. Bailey, Stone.
Thanks, Emma. Muskoge's first black mayor ended his term yesterday.
After the break, we'll show you what kind of impact he left in Muskogee.
And we've got a warm weekend on the way before a risk of severe weather early next week. I'll show you the setup next on Now Nightly.
I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear, call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
See, Smokey thinks I'm funny.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
You know, it took 20 years, and I got my third child, who was 17 at the time.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
Water is our most precious resource, and something that should be conserved and used wisely. Here is a water conservation tip you can try. In the bathroom, turn off the water while you brush your teeth. You'll save about 4 gallons per minute. That comes out to about 200 gallons a week for a family of 4. Water is life. This message was brought to you by the City of Norman.
Is it time yet?
It's time.
Let's start time for dinner.
Oh, terrific.
Donating pet food is one of the many ways you can help families in your community. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
Good afternoon. Hope you're having a great Wednesday. You heard earlier in the show about all the severe weather going on in the south part of the country. Here's a look at all of the storm reports over the past 12 hours. Again, that tornado that was just west of Houston earlier this morning. Otherwise, the big story has been a lot of flash flooding. Some parts of eastern Texas and western Louisiana saw over a foot of rainfall over the past couple of days. These storms are now making their way into the Florida Panhandle and other parts of the southeast. And then back here in Norman on the back side of this system, we had rain earlier this afternoon. That has since shifted off to the east, so the metro is now dry and will continue to stay that way throughout the rest of today and over the next several days as well. We've got some nice dry weather on the way before that storm chance moves in by this time by early next week. So here's a look at Futurecast. Again, Rain across the east over the next few hours. It'll be out of the state by around 10 o'clock this evening, and then clearing sky overnight tonight. And then for tomorrow, we will have a lot of sunshine across the state. And notice the winds coming out of the northwest tomorrow afternoon. Those are going to be pretty breezy, so that's something you'll notice for your Thursday. Sunny and also breezy with wind gusts that will be up around 25 to 30 miles per hour, especially up in the northeast part of the state for tomorrow afternoon. So a windy Thursday, but it will be warmer with highs in the upper 60s to low 70s. Pretty nice day all the way around, except for just a bit of a breeze throughout the day. And then Friday, even warmer. Check this out. Highs in the upper 70s for much of the state, low 80s possible out in the western part of Oklahoma for Friday afternoon. But it gets even warmer for the upcoming weekend. 81 for Saturday. It'll be very breezy on Saturday. And then 88. How about that for Sunday? A very warm second half of the weekend as well. That is ahead of our next storm system. So here it comes. This is for next Monday, an area of low pressure out in the southern Rockies. The winds will be whipping up ahead of us, up in the upper atmosphere. Also, all of this green is moisture increasing from the Gulf of Mexico. So we'll be feeling more humid coming up for the end of the weekend, early next week. All of these ingredients coming together to give us a risk for severe weather. So here is the early outlook. Anywhere in this yellow or orange shading has a chance of seeing large hail, damaging winds, possibly a few tornadoes with this storm system on Monday. This could last well into Monday night as well. Your Campus Weather Authority is going to stay on top of it. Check back in with OU Nightly for updates over the next several days as we fine-tune this risk. Your 7-day forecast shows, again, the warm up on the way. We're up into the 80s for the weekend. Then that risk of severe weather comes in for Monday. And then it stays pretty warm early next week. Highs in the 80s all the way through the 7-day forecast.
And Josh, you mentioned it and we talked about it. 88 on Sunday. Is that a normal temperature for this time of year? A little bit warmer than normal?
It's way above normal. Actually, the record high on Sunday in Oklahoma City is 92. So we'll be close to that.
Wow, I know. I'm really looking forward to that warm weather, especially after this rain.
It's coming.
Thanks, Josh. And Tuesday marked the last day on the job for one Oklahoma mayor. CNN Douglas Braff was there to see how this former mayor is making every minute count.
Leon Clark III, today is your day. The city of Muskogee, okay? Oh, so sweet.
Marlon Coleman was elected as Muskogee's first black mayor back in 2020, and he said recently he wanted to leave a legacy of care for children here. And so he worked until the very last minute of his term at 8:59, issuing these proclamations before kids started their school day.
I hope so. I hope they take the day after the eclipse and remember that, you know, in the city of Muskogee, the mayor took the time to say, hey, I'm going to give you a day so that you can feel special in Muskogee. So every little second or minute I can squeeze in to be certain that we recognize kids, I'm happy to do that today.
His successor is now former city councilor Patrick Cale, who won February's election in a landslide.
Leaving today and doing what I'm doing to help young families and young people is a bittersweet moment, but I'm happy to do it.
When all was said and done,
E-Sensei.
Coleman tells us 97 kids swung by, each taking home their official decrees.
April 9th is your day in the city of Muskogee. Forever and ever and ever. Don't lose it.
Former City Council member Patrick Cale will be taking on the role of mayor, replacing Coleman starting this month.
And after their third straight series loss over the weekend, OU baseball looked to get back in the win column on Tuesday.
OU Nightly's Ryan Smith has how the Sooner Sluggers did in Norman.
And OU softball looked to bounce back after dropping their first Big 12 series in over a decade. Did Gasso's girls get back on track, or did the Sooners skid continue in Wichita? I'll have that and more coming up next in sports.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut, the one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Water is our most precious resource and something that should be conserved and used wisely. Here are some water conservation tips you can try. In the kitchen, collect the excess water you use to rinse produce and use it to water houseplants. Also, soak your pots and pans instead of letting the water run while you scrape them. Water is life. This message was brought to you by the City of Norman.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Hello friends, I'm Ryan Smith and it is time for sports. And although the Masters doesn't officially start until tomorrow, both Diamond Sports for the Sooners took the field last night. Kicking it off with OU softball after losing their first Big 12 series since 2011, Gasso's girls got back on track against Wichita State last night. A pair of Kenzie Hansen doubles plates 3 and Kirsten Deal strikes out 9 over 5 1/3 innings as the Sooners climb back into the win column 7-0. OU baseball also looked to bounce back against UT Arlington after dropping their third straight weekend series against Oklahoma State. Skip squad stayed hot at the plate, scoring 11 on the night, and Anthony McKenzie had himself a game going 3 for 4, including an RBI triple in the 7th to get the Sooners back on track 11-9. Like father, like sons, OU football picked up a new recruit for the 2025 class. 4-star defensive back Malik Hawkins, and if the name sounds familiar, well, it should, because he's the younger brother of current Sooner quarterback Michael Hawkins Jr. and former Sooner DB Michael Hawkins Sr. OU women's golf brought home their first tournament title in 6 years, beating out Tulsa in the match play tournament 3-1-1. Senior Nina Lang and sophomore Gracie Mayo both won their matches before sophomore Savannah Barber slammed the door on the Golden Hurricane on the 17th green. The Oklahoma City Thunder took on the Kings last night as they gear up for a playoff push. Jalen Williams here lobbing it up to Chet Holmgren, slamming it home, but it's SGA's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander turning on the burners and laying it in with the right on his way to a 40-point night. But it's Kason Willis in the 4th knocking down the triple to bring the Thunder all the way back down from 20, and then it's SGA again with the dagger to conquer the Kings 112-105. And the race for the #1 seed in the West is nearing the finish line with the Thunder 1 game behind the Nuggets and Timberwolves in 3rd. Luckily for the Thunder, Denver and Minnesota face off tonight in the Mile High City, so an opportunity for OKC to make a run at the 1 seed with only 3 games left in the regular season. And speaking of playoff pushes, former Sooner Trae Young could be making his return to the court tonight for the Hawks, according to ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski, and it couldn't have come at a better time with Atlanta holding on to the final play-in spot in the East. Bailey, Stone?
Thanks, Ryan. And OU students' video is up for a Webby Award, also known as the Best of the Internet Award.
After the break, learn how you can vote for the People's Choice Awards.
If you're feeling sad.
Thanks for hearing me out, bro.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
Did you know that trash, like plastic bottles and fast food wrappers, can carry germs and bacteria? When these items are tossed in the street, they eventually find their way to a river or lake and have a negative impact on aquatic life. Keep our waters clean by putting your trash in the bin. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater.
Gracias. Thank you.
What's wrong, mijo?
Donating to a pet's medical care can keep families together. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
Is this time yet?
It's time.
Let's start time for dinner.
Oh, it's really good.
Donating pet food is one of the many ways you can help families in your community. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Okay. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
I'm Abigail Franklin with an update on an investigation into a possible homicide in southeast Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City police have confirmed a body was found buried in the backyard of someone's home. Police arrived to the home last night after they were notified of a possible homicide, but no body was originally found. After looking in the backyard, an unmarked grave was found where the body was later discovered. Juan Lopez was arrested in connection, and the investigation is ongoing. Stone, Bailey.
Thanks for that update, Abigail. We'll be sure to keep you updated on that story. Now, News 21 video journalists from Arizona State University, Ohio Wesleyan University, the University of North Texas, University of Oregon, and of our own from OU are finalists in the Webby Awards for their video on Roe versus Wade and abortion in America.
The Webby Award is the leading international award honoring excellence on the internet. Now their video is up for the General Video Student Category Award. In order to vote, visit vote.webbyawards.com, and voting closes April 18th. Now, Stone, I know this rain is moving out and temperatures are moving up. I know I'm excited for these warm waters.
I'm definitely excited about that. The warmer temperature just means we're one step closer to summer. I can't wait for that. And Josh Duncan joins us now with a final look at the forecast. Josh?
Yeah, the rain is over and the clouds will be on the move out tonight with a low around 48. So it'll be a cool start to the day tomorrow, and then highs up in the upper 60s with a breezy northwest wind gusting up to 30 miles per hour throughout the day for your Thursday. Your 7-day forecast shows the warm up on the way, upper 70s for Friday, low 80s for Saturday, then upper 80s for Sunday. Back to you.
Thanks, Josh, and thank you for watching OU Nightly. I'm Bailey Coyle.
And I'm Stone Weber. Be sure to watch OU Nightly live tomorrow at 4:30. Good night.
You know you don't have to wear your PT gear anymore, right?
It's comfortable.
So how's civilian life treating you?
It's fine.
When I got out, I didn't want to admit that there was anything wrong because I felt like a failure. And then I realized, like, there's nothing to be ashamed of. So I started talking to someone. Maybe you are fine, but if you're not, it's okay.
Thank you.
If you or a veteran you know needs support,